The Denver Broncos season is over. They got stomped by the Bills 31-7. This will sound crazy. This game felt a lot closer than 31-7. I mean, it was 13-7 halfway through the third quarter. Ultimately, Denver's defense could only hold on for so long, and ultimately, they just ran out of gas, and the offense never came to play after the first drive of the game, which was the ultimate, tease. I mean, right off the jump, Troy Franklin, 43-yard touchdown. I'm like, we're really in this game. But ultimately, this loss, I think, comes down to two things. And the two things are connected. The trenches and time of possession. Denver's inability to run the ball, an inability to stop the run, and both those things factored into one of the most lopsided times of possession I can remember. 41 minutes to 18 minutes. 2/3 of the game plus Josh Allen was on the field. That is an awful strategy for slowing down the Bills. Step one for slowing down the Bills, keep Josh Allen on the sideline. There's two ways to do that. Either your offense has long sustained drives and kills a lot of clock, or your defense forces a ton of 3-and-outs. It's not likely that Denver's defense is going to force a ton of 3-and-outs against Josh Allen and the Bills. Some, maybe, but not a lot. But the offense is where I come back to. Denver's offense is the ultimate boogeyman, point the finger to. And I'm not even going to point the finger at Bo Nix specifically. I thought he played a pretty good game, given the drops around him by the receivers and the inability for Denver to run the ball whatsoever. 17 carries for 79 yards. The Bills outrushed the Broncos 210-79. I don't know what's more embarrassing, that or the time of possession. But the fact that Buffalo was able to run the ball at will and Denver could not run the ball to save their life, both those things fed into Buffalo's ability to have these long 5+ minute drives, of which they had many and several, and Denver's inability to hold on to the football and march down the field and give their defense a breather, and more importantly, keep Josh Allen on the sideline. And by the end of the third quarter, it was over for Denver. I mean, the penalties, the flags, they're going to be discussed. I'm just going to say the unpopular opinion right now. If you feel like Denver lost this game because of the officials, I think that's lazy. Was that a penalty on Brandon Jones? No. What it was a bad pass from Josh Allen. He put his receiver in a bad position, and I thought Brandon Jones could have only played that one way, the way he did. If he does nothing, he watches that player potentially catch a first down pass. He doesn't hit him with the head, goes to the shoulder. Not his fault that the receiver is laying out head down. I don't know how Brandon Jones plays that any differently. But here's the fact of the matter. That's one call that goes against Denver. You could argue the penalty on Marvin Mims to close out the first half, which set them back 8 yards, and then kind of factored into Will Lutz missing a 50-yarder. If they're 8 yards closer, it's a 42-yarder, and I bet Will Lutz makes that kick. And if he does make that kick, I bet Denver loses 31-10. So I don't walk away from this game going, this all comes back to bad officiating. No, it doesn't. Sure, they were on the wrong side of some judgmental calls. They also benefited from the referees not seeing Pat Surtain clearly hold Dawson Knox or Dalton Kincaid in the end zone. Now, I will add that Bill Venovich, the referee, going up to Josh Allen during a TV timeout, who was sitting on the bench, having a conversation with him, and patting him on the shoulder, I have never seen that before. On the field, one thing, but to come onto the sideline and basically kiss him to say, I'm so sorry, that just screamed, hey, Josh, we missed it. Please don't be mad at us, and we're going to make it up to you on this next drive. And that, to me, was the Brandon Jones call. So if you want to cancel those things out, then fine. Denver got a little bit screwed over with the penalty on Marvin Mims, but that's not the issue here. The issue is what's been the issue for Denver's offense all year. They can't run the football. They have no run game whatsoever. And it showed. Bo Nix in a playoff game, he needed a little bit of help from the run game. Right? And what did he get out of it? himself being the best rusher. Javonte Williams just played his last game for the Broncos. We'll never see him in orange again. 7 carries for 29 yards. Thank goodness they made Audric Estime inactive today so that Tyler Bidet could get 2 carries for 8 yards. Jaleel McLaughlin, I think we saw him get, 3-4 carries? No, nothing. Look at the box grade. 2 carries for -2 yards. Yeah. If Bo Nix does not have a couple of those runs when the game is pretty much over, we're looking at 13 carries for about 37 yards. That's Denver's ground attack. 13 carries for 37 yards. You want to be mad at something or someone? Be mad at that. That's the biggest culprit here of all things. I don't look at the 31 points and go, Denver's defense failed them today. Denver's defense, let's go and back in time for a second. This game was 13-7 with 3.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. I know things went horribly downhill after that, but that's not the culprit here. It's that Denver could not run the ball to save their life. To me, that's what it comes back to. So with that being said, you want us to talk about the future here? The future for the Broncos, like this offseason? Priority number 1 is find a running back. The last guy to rush for 100 yards was Latavius Murray at the end of the 2022 season. 2 straight regular seasons without a 100-yard rusher in a game. That is, without a doubt, in my mind, priority number 1. It's got to be at the front of their minds when they are going through free agency, when they are going through the draft. It has to be the first problem that they try to address. Meaning, they have to come up with a plan to solve that issue. If the plan is to solve it in the draft, fine by me. If the plan is to solve it in free agency, fine by me. But they have to have a plan. And it's got to be the first plan they cook up. Because all the other issues today would have been softened or alleviated with the run game. You're mad about time of possession? Get a running back who can run the football, and you'll have a couple first downs, and you'll keep Josh Allen on the sideline. You're mad about 31 points? Well, imagine the defense playing 2/3 of the game and not surrendering 31 points. Get an offense that can run the football and keep Josh Allen on the sideline. All the issues today came back to Denver's running backs' inability to run the football whatsoever. Disappointing. Ultimately, kind of walk away from this going, sucks today, but a lot to be proud of for what they accomplished given the circumstances. Their preseason win total projection, 5.5. Rookie quarterback, $89 million in dead money, number 1 in the NFL. And they go out there and they win 10 games and make the playoffs for the first time since 2015. They got a lot of monkeys off their back this season. They swept the Raiders, beat the Chiefs for the first time in back-to-back seasons in a decade, made the playoffs. They made a lot of progress. No one thought this game or this season, was Super Bowl or bust or a playoff win or bust. I know 31-7 is a bit disheartening and just sucks the life out of it for what was a very successful year all around. But this is a good starting point, right? Go look at the first playoff game for Josh Allen, for Lamar Jackson. There are some bumps and bruises before success came along. I'm not discouraged or anything. I just know that Denver has a clear problem, and they have a means to fix it. And that is their first or second round draft pick in a running back draft class that is loaded. Go out there and address that problem, and I think this team's going to be a lot more successful in 2025. I just want to say thank you to everyone that followed along with us all season. We're not going anywhere. We still put out daily content all off season for free agency, the draft, all that good stuff. So make sure to subscribe. We're at 31,795 subscribers. My goal was to end this watch party, this playoff game, with 32,000. We're 205 away, so do me a big favor. Scroll on down and click that subscribe button.